In this video, we are going to be talking about what to do if you're a student who is keen on securing an Insight Week or an internship or a grad scheme, but you haven't managed to do so. What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to the video. For those of you that are new here, my name is Afzal Hussain. You can find out a bit more about me through the social media links below, or you can check out my website, which is www.afzalhussain.com. Today we're going to be talking about what to do if you haven't managed to secure an Insight Week or Spring Week or an internship or a grad scheme. Now, it's not the end of the world, but obviously there will be a lot of students who will be ahead of you in terms of securing such experiences. But not to worry, I'm going to list a number of ways that you can increase your chances of securing them in the next year. So if you're a Spring Week applicant this year, how you can increase your chances of securing an internship without doing a Spring Week. And if you're an internship applicant, how you can increase your chances of securing a grad scheme without doing an internship. Hopefully the points I mentioned in this video will be useful to you. If they are, as ever, do leave a comment below. If you've got any questions, leave them below as well, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Yes, it's January. Spring weeks are in March, April, so they're around the corner. Summer internships are not too far off. Many of you will have interviews in January and February, so if you do, good luck with those. Many of you who unfortunately haven't got any responses or haven't got through to any assessment centers or interviews, chances are you might not get the offers that you want this year. And so it is quite disappointing, disheartening, and it's quite, a difficult time period to go through, especially, when you so desperately want a Spring Week or an offer for a summer internship or a grad scheme even, and you haven't got it. However, it's important not to be down for too long. It's important to be forward looking and plan how you can increase your chances for the next application season. First and foremost, I want to touch on societies, and I always say this to university students when I'm talking at campuses, is try and be part of societies. Don't just be a member of a society. Anyone can participate, right? Anyone can be a member of a society. What stands out on CVs, on cover letters, on applications, and what the big and the best companies look for is individuals who have actually taken a leadership role or a leadership position on a society. So if you're the head of marketing, if you're the head of recruiting, if you're the president or you're the head of events, whatever it might be, if you are taking on a leadership role within a society at your university, that will give you something to talk about and put down on your CV. So when it comes to applying for Spring Weeks or internships or grad schemes next year, although you don't have any Spring Week or internship experience, having a position on a society allows you to talk about something on your CV. It's much better than having a blank CV. The second point I want to touch on is work experience. Okay, so you haven't got any relevant experience at an investment bank or a bulge bracket bank, but work experience is work experience, and it all looks good on your CV. So if you can get any type of experience, even if it's voluntary, forget about the pay, forget about the money. All of that will come later on. Right now, you just need to focus on building your CV with good experience. If you can work at a boutique bank, even if it's an unknown bank, unknown name, whatever it might be, that will be very good because it's a relevant industry work experience which will help you when it comes to applying in the next year. If you can't get any work experience at a boutique bank or anything related to banking whatsoever, it's not the end of the world. You should focus on getting any type of work experience, because it's important to know that regardless of the type of work experience you're doing, you need to be doing something because it develops the skills that will help you when it comes to working for an investment bank or a consulting firm or any other business. So your interpersonal skills, your teamwork skills, your leadership skills, your analytical skills, your attention to detail, all of these things can improve even if you're not working for a bank and you're doing some voluntary experience for a charity, or you're doing any other type of work experience in a different organization. So work experience is very important. So don't let your spring or your summer go to waste, and don't just, chill out and enjoy it completely by doing nothing. Make sure you try to secure some sort of work experience, even if it means working for, I don't know, a family or friend's shop, or doing voluntary work, or fundraising, or starting your own business on the side, or your own side hustle, whatever it might be. You need to get in the mindset of, this time next year when I'm applying, I need stuff to talk about on my CV. And that stuff to talk about needs to be built now. So you need to do as much as you can in order to do that, because the candidates who have offers for spring weeks and internships and grad schemes, their CVs have plenty for them to talk about. And so you need to be in that position. If you're a first year student who didn't secure any spring weeks, this time next year you're going to be applying to summer internships. If you're applying for summer internships this year and you haven't secured any, this time next year you're going to be applying for grad schemes. They're even harder to secure, and so that's why, you know, society's work experience, whether it's relevant or irrelevant, they're all very important and you should be thinking about them now. Another point I want to make is oftentimes too many students get caught up on the idea of working in the front office, and so they do all of the, for those of you that don't know what the front office is, it's basically the revenue generating part of an investment bank. Salaries and bonuses are higher, hours tend to be longer, etc, etc. However, most students are attracted to these areas because they find it super cool to work in these areas, and they haven't really explored the different divisions, and so they don't really know what's available out there. They're just making an informed decision to work in the front office because everyone else is doing it, or because everyone's talking about the front office. However, I would ask you or recommend you to make sure you do your research. If you're putting all your eggs in one basket and you haven't secured any offers yet, then maybe you should diversify your applications. Move away from the front office for a bit because it's harder to get in, and if you're struggling, you should consider applying to back office roles because they tend to be easier to get into. The back office is easier to secure an offer compared to the front office. So if you're in that position where you haven't got an offer, consider back office roles, because yes, you can move from the back office into the front office after you do a few years of work experience. Your career is a very long period of time. Those first few years are not going to cost you much. Alternatively, if you don't want to work in the back office of an investment bank, you can consider alternative companies and businesses. So you can consider applying to, you know, the big four: Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, Ernst & Young. Or you could think of applying to management consultants. There are so many different companies out there which will equip you with similar skill sets to applying to an investment bank. And look, after you do a few years, you can apply to investment bank front office roles if that's what you want to do. So don't just think you need to secure a job in the front office of the investment bank. Look at different options, even different industries, startups, tech companies, whatever it might be. There's so much out there right now available for you that you shouldn't restrict yourself. And if you do restrict yourself, you're really doing yourself a disservice. And last but not least, I want to say you should learn by doing these following 3 things. 1, networking. 2, reading. And 3, being around the people who have ended up in the position you want to be in. So first, networking. It's important to make sure you're actively using LinkedIn to reach out to employees and professionals in the industry that you're applying to, because reaching out to them, having a conversation or catching up with them over a coffee can be extremely valuable. They'll teach you a lot that you don't know, and they might, you know, point you in the direction to opportunities that you might not have been aware of. Secondly, reading is very important. Naturally, when you're consuming a lot of content, it makes you a more interesting person. You're more likely to be able to have conversations with people on different topics, and, you know, someone might have read one of the books that I read, and that's an easy conversation starter. All these things are important, but you should be reading, you know, a range of different topics, but it's important to read around the areas of finance you're specifically interested in, and that will help you stand out in interviews or when you go for coffees and catch-ups. And then last but not least, hang around or try and meet the students, the individuals who have secured the offers, because at the end of the day, there's going to be some students at your university or other universities who have secured offers at top companies, or who have secured offers in roles and divisions at companies that you're interested in. Don't be a leech, but try and get to know them, see what they did right. You know, 9 times out of 10, they're willing to help you. They're willing to kind of, you know, help you out with your cover letter or CV, or give you some hints and tips. And it's always important. Those relationships can help you get further in the application process. So do those things, and I'm sure you'll increase your chances of securing an offer in the next application round. Hopefully that video was interesting for you. Hopefully it was useful for you. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't already, do subscribe and turn on post notifications. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. Make sure you share this with anyone who needs to see it, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.